In the southern hemisphere, there is a land so massive and its unbroken shoreline so long that it's perceived as both an island and a continent, all in one. Australia's uniqueness in the world has created a steady stream of immigrants for nearly 3 centuries, and among them today, there are more than 130,000 Latter-day Saints who call the land down under home. And what a home it is. To catch a glimpse of Sydney, Australia's largest city, is to see a kaleidoscope of cultural and ethnic influences that continue to shape the country to this day. As one of the fastest growing Christian faiths in Australia, the church seems to reflect the country's diversity wherever its people meet.
I love being a member and because of all the blessing it brings me.
It provides the smile on our faces. It provides friendship with amazing people.
Yeah, I guess the church in our lives gives us direction and purpose.
Clinical psychologist and PhD candidate Emily Kwok, musical theater performer Patrice Tapaki, and rugby star Will Hopoate all come from different backgrounds. And as their lives reflect their active faith in the church in Australia, they have each come to recognize its influence in the world around them.
It's just a wonderful thing, wonderful feeling to hear the vibrancy of a New Testimony, to hear the experiences of an Old Testimony, to see the joy of someone coming into the waters of baptism. It's just a marvellous thing. And to see missionaries...
Area 70 Elder Terence Vinson is an Australian and a convert to the church who has watched membership flourish in recent years. But its prominence today owes its place to a steady climb that has charted a course from a much earlier day.
Church is larger now, so many more people have members as neighbours or relatives. So the church is much better known these days than it was then. I think the general population of Sydney has become more aware of the church.
The presence of the church in Australia began with the arrival of missionaries to its famed harbour city in 1851. But it would be another 100 years before Australian Latter-day Saint converts would elect to remain in significant numbers in Australia rather than immigrate to North America. Ian Mackey is one of those who saw membership swell. A great-grandfather now, he was a young man and still in his 20s when he joined the church and raised his family here, and at a time in Australia when Latter-day Saints were far lesser known, but those days would see a sudden shift.
In 1960, the first stake was organised in Sydney, and the membership quickly went from something like 2,000 members to 20,000 members over a short period of time.
And 24 years later, Australians would see the first of 5 temples built, starting in Sydney.
I just can't describe the excitement and the feeling that we experienced then when President Kimball made that announcement and invited me to be chairman of the Temple Committee, which I regarded as a great honour and a wonderful, wonderful experience.
And among Australian Latter-day Saints, some wonderful experiences even find their way onto the front page. For star rugby player Will Hopoate, the rugged life of an athlete has met up with his desire to serve a full-time mission in Brisbane. His decision to postpone a promising professional career for a mission made headlines, but Will was not at a loss for words when he explained his motives to teammates and fans.
My purpose as a missionary is to invite others to come into Christ, and the way the gospel centred around families, I hope I can make people realise the importance and blessing of their own families.
What is it like to be a member of church in Sydney? It is a great blessing.
As a therapist, Emily Kwok has chosen a path to help others heal. As an entertainer, musical theater performer Patrice Tapaki shares her gifts to help others feel. Yet in their varied pursuits between profession and family, there is a common thread they share.
I know that when I'm able to help someone or do something that is benefiting someone else other than just myself or those immediate people around me, that I can be happier, and that you can see the good that service can do for others.
And then at the end you realise that you're the one who gets blessed more, even though you thought you were helping someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.